The thermos felt cold in my hand as I stepped off the trail. The sun was setting behind me, casting long shadows across the forest floor. My headlamp battery died 2 miles from camp. No signal on my phone, no light to guide me back, just a faint path in the encroaching darkness. In situations like this, it's crucial to stay calm and assess your surroundings. If you have any spare batteries or another source of light, such as a backup flashlight or glow sticks, use them immediately. If not, consider retracing your steps to find a clearing where you can build a fire for light and warmth. Always ensure you inform someone about your route and expected return time before heading out into the wilderness. I didn't panic right away. I could make out the last few markers on the trail ahead. Another half-mile of easy walking and I'd be home free, but something wasn't quite right. The air was colder than it should have been, carrying an edge that made my teeth chatter. Hypothermia can set in quickly when temperatures drop unexpectedly, so I knew I needed to find shelter or start a fire soon. Wind whispered through the trees to my left as I walked. A branch snapped behind me, a sound that made my heart race and froze me in place. It was well after dark with no other hikers around for miles. Slowly turning, I scanned my surroundings carefully. Nothing moved, no signs of life. Relieved but still cautious, I continued on my way back to camp. If your headlamp dies under such circumstances, always carry backup lighting like a flashlight or chem lights, and know the area well enough to navigate by memory or map in low-light conditions. Remember, it's crucial to follow local regulations for camping and hiking areas, especially regarding permits in restricted zones. I grabbed a stick from the ground and crept forward, moving slowly and steadily now. The path wound through dense underbrush, cutting through brambles and thorny vines. Each step sent twigs snapping underfoot, with echoes amplifying the sound in the quiet night. To avoid attracting attention or disturbing wildlife, I moved cautiously and quietly. A few more minutes and I should have seen the trail markers again, but they weren't visible now, only dense trees surrounded me. My heart raced as panic began to set in. I was lost in an unfamiliar forest at nightfall, with my headlamp dead just 2 miles from camp. In situations like this, it's crucial to stay calm and use what resources you have wisely. Look for natural landmarks such as large rocks or distinctive trees that could guide your way back. Avoid wandering aimlessly. Always try to retrace your steps if possible. If you must spend the night, find a sheltered spot away from potential hazards like falling branches or steep terrain. Remember, it's essential to know local laws and regulations about camping off-trail and in restricted areas before venturing into unfamiliar territories. I swallowed hard and took a deep breath of the frigid night air. Panic wouldn't help now. I needed to stay calm and methodical. The priority was finding immediate shelter from the elements to prevent hypothermia. Once sheltered, I could focus on signaling for help or continuing my journey safely with proper gear and knowledge of local laws regarding overnight stays in protected areas. The trees thinned out ahead, revealing a small clearing just off the path. A fallen log in the middle could provide shelter from the wind. My heart raced, but my mind stayed focused. Build a fire to stay warm and signal for help. Gather plenty of tinder, dry leaves, grass, and fine twigs, and look for kindling too. Always prioritize finding or making shelter before focusing on signaling for rescue unless immediate danger like a severe storm threatens your safety. I crouched down to gather dry material from under the pine needles, but when I searched for kindling, everything seemed wet due to the damp air. Without a fire and with limited options, I had to rely on staying warm in my insulated jacket and sleeping bag until dawn. Remember, if you're stranded without a source of heat or light, it's crucial to prioritize warmth and safety by using your gear effectively while waiting for rescue. My teeth were chattering now, and a cold sweat broke out on my forehead despite the biting cold. My body was starting to work against me. Hypothermia could set in quickly if I didn't find warmth soon. I forced myself to stand and walk back into the woods, searching for any sign of natural shelter. There had to be a hollow tree, rock overhang, or even thick brush somewhere nearby that could provide some protection from the elements. But with each step, my uncertainty grew, and I knew it was crucial to stay calm, move cautiously, and avoid risky decisions in the dark. The wind picked up, sending chilly gusts swirling around me. My teeth chattered uncontrollably as my body started to shake more violently. Without a headlamp or any other source of light, finding shelter or starting a fire would be incredibly difficult. Hypothermia sets in quickly when wet and cold, so it's crucial to find protection from the elements immediately. I hugged myself tightly to stay warm as a chilling howl echoed through the night. Was it a wild animal or just a distant dog from a nearby settlement? Regardless, being miles away from camp with no light source left made me acutely aware of my vulnerability in the wilderness. It's crucial to always carry backup lighting and know your surroundings when venturing into remote areas. The darkness descended like a heavy cloak, making each shadowy outline of trees seem to grow and twist into eerie shapes with every cautious step I took. My heart raced, the familiar surge of panic trying to take hold, urging me to move faster despite knowing that haste could be dangerous in such conditions. I needed to stay calm. Panicking wouldn't help in this situation. Staying calm is crucial because hypothermia can set in quickly if you're not prepared for the cold night. With my headlamp dead, every shadow felt like a potential danger. Each sound seemed amplified and movement appeared out of place. It's important to stay alert but not let fear take over. Making noise by talking or clicking a lighter can sometimes deter nocturnal animals. Most creatures will avoid confrontation if they sense you're aware of their presence. The cold seeped into my bones as I stumbled forward in the dark, desperately searching for any hint of shelter or a recognizable landmark to lead me back to camp. With my headlamp dead and visibility zero, every step felt like an endless journey through unfamiliar terrain, devoid of trail markers, distinctive trees, or notable boulders that could offer direction. I felt myself starting to slip into despair as hopelessness crept in. Now I was truly stuck. My headlamp died 2 miles from camp, leaving me in the dark with no way to move safely at night. This wasn't a situation to panic about, but it meant settling in for an overnight stay. Hypothermia is a real risk in cold climates even after sunset on summer nights, so building a fire and finding shelter became my immediate priorities. I needed to ensure that I stayed warm and dry throughout the night. Would anyone find me? It was uncertain, which made it all the more crucial to hunker down and stay safe until morning. But then a flicker of light caught my eye, a faint glow just ahead through the trees. My heart leapt. Was it rescue? A campfire? Someone with a lantern? However, in survival situations, it's crucial to exercise caution when encountering unexpected lights or signs of human activity at night. Ensure you have a reliable way to communicate your location and status before approaching any unknown light source. I cautiously moved toward it, pushing through brambles and brush while staying alert for potential dangers. As I emerged from the thick undergrowth, my headlamp dying, the light revealed an old stone fireplace in ruins, nothing more than crumbling stones and half-buried logs. While it provided some shelter from the wind, I knew I needed to find a safer spot for setting up camp to avoid potential hazards like falling rubble or hidden wildlife. I hugged myself tighter against the cold as I approached cautiously, my heart still pounding. Without a fire, staying warm and dry is crucial. Find shelter immediately. Use natural cover like rock overhangs or dense foliage to protect yourself from wind and rain. Build an emergency bivy sack using large leaves or bark if needed. Avoid hypothermia by conserving body heat. Huddle in tight spaces if you have clothing layers, but be mindful of fire safety laws and only start a controlled fire with proper materials if absolutely necessary and legal in your area. Stay put until help arrives or first light, then proceed cautiously to camp. The light caught on a glint of metal in one corner, a tin can half buried under leaves. I reached out and carefully pulled it free, feeling cold water slosh inside. While the can was empty, scavenging for items like this can still be useful. Ensure any containers are thoroughly cleaned before using them to store food or water. However, always prioritize finding a safe source of drinking water, as natural sources may contain harmful pathogens and should be purified first. I knelt down and started digging through the debris for any scraps of wood, dry leaves, or bark that might help me start a fire later once I found better tinder in the morning light. As my hands began to feel numb from the cold, I knew I had to work quickly to find some form of shelter or build a small fire with what little materials were available before nightfall fully set in. My fingers stiffened with each passing minute, emphasizing the urgency of finding dry kindling that could ignite easily once it was light enough to see properly. A distant rustling sound made my heart race again. Something was moving in the underbrush nearby. I froze, straining to listen and identify the noise. Then a clear wolf howl echoed through the night. Wolves are territorial animals, so it's wise to give them plenty of space. If you find yourself in such a situation, stay calm and avoid direct eye contact or sudden movements that might be seen as aggressive. Retreat slowly and make loud noises by clapping your hands or banging sticks together to deter them without turning your back on the animal. I shivered harder as fear gripped me once more. Wolves can indeed detect vulnerability from afar, so it's crucial to stay calm and avoid sudden movements. Without a headlamp or the ability to find immediate shelter, my best option was to hunker down and wait for dawn.